Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. In this video I'm going to be talking about a few little neat cameras that I've collected over the years, and also one in particular that was recently sent to me by Neil Legg. When someone wants to get into film photography, the main question they always ask is, what camera should I buy? And generally that comes down to what budget have you got. Depending on the budget, there's always the usual suspects that pop up with recommendations. And why not? Some of those cameras are fantastic for new beginners and new starters in film photography. But what about these beauties here? Now, it's granted that these cameras aren't the easiest to use for most people getting into film photography. These old cameras, some of them you can find with rangefinders in, some of them you can find with light meters in, but more often than not, there's no rangefinders, there's no light meters, and there's no focusing either. You've got to measure the focusing distance yourself, which I find makes it all quite fun and quite challenging, but not maybe the easiest cameras to use for the total beginner. But they are great fun to shoot, and they're beautiful to look at as well. I'll just show you a few of these and then I'll get on to the Kodak Retinette that was kindly sent to me by Neil Legg. This was my first little one. This is the Braun pack set camera, and when I first got this, I'd already been in film photography for a couple of years, and I found it quite interesting to use. There's a little tiny rangefinder in there. It's not that great, but it does work. There's no light meter, there's no autofocus, obviously. You've got to do all the distancing yourself. Braun pack set from the 1950s, fantastic little bit of kit. And this is another beautiful little camera, probably from 1950s or 60s. This is the Alina 35X. I've had this for some years, and it works really well. Nice and sharp lens, no light meter, no focusing, and you've got to do it all yourself. And this is another little beauty, the rarer camera that I recently featured on the channel a couple of weeks ago at the airfield. And again, this one's got no rangefinder, no light meter, no focusing. You've got to do it all yourself. Fun little camera to use, and funny enough, Neil Legg sent this one to me as well. This is a beautiful little camera. And then it comes down to the two Retinettes that I've got. The first one I made a video of, I think, earlier on in the year.
Colour slides like these are so easy to make with a Kodak Retinette 1A camera outfit. Your Kodak dealer will show you the Kodak Retinette 1A 35mm camera outfit, complete with the famous Retinette 1A camera, priced at just £22.10.
This is, I can't remember what they're all called now, but a Retinette 1A camera. This one has got a rangefinder. There's no light meter. You've got to do all the focusing and stuff yourself. Great little fun camera to shoot, very sharp. I had some good results with this one. And it brings me on to recently, which Neil Legg sent me, is this little tiny Retinette 1. I know nothing about this stuff. I have to go online and research. You know, I'm not a walking dictionary of cameras. I have to go online like anyone else, research what I've got and try and learn a little bit about the history in it. But this is a beautiful little camera, and I've gone out and shot it. So I'll show you some of the images that I've taken on this camera so far, and also a little walk through the camera itself. So this is the Kodak Retinette 1, manufactured from 1958 to 1959 and made to order for Kodak UK to provide a lower price option for the Kodak Retinette. Made in Germany, this particular model has a Compo rapid shutter with speeds ranging from 1 second to 1/500th of a second, and it also features a bulb mode for your timed exposures as well. There are no curtains on these cameras, and the exposure is made by a leaf shutter in front of the aperture blades, making this camera and other leaf shutter cameras very quiet to shoot indeed. The aperture on this camera ranges from f/22 to f/3.5, and there is no light meter or coupled rangefinder, so when you're using the camera you have to use a handheld meter or use your gut instinct with the Sunny 16 rule, and to focus you need to measure the distance between the camera and the subject in feet, or you can use the zone focusing scale on the lens itself. There is a cold shoe on the camera that you can attach an external rangefinder or a flash, and a sync port is also on the side. The lens is a Schneider Cruisenac rear model. Butchered it. Schneider. Yep, that's the one. And it's fixed with a 45mm lens. On the top of the camera there is a film selector, a counter window which you have to select how many frames you have on the roll, and then it will count down after each shot taken. Your fire button is on there, and also another button which I have not got a clue what it does. I didn't originally think it was for double exposures, but it doesn't work that way, so I've not got a clue what that button is. Let us know in the comments if you know. On the bottom of the camera there is a tripod plate screw and a protected door release button. And the frame advance is placed at the bottom of the camera too, and next to that is your film rewind release button. The viewfinder is small and there is no markings inside, and as we open the back door there is your take-up spool, which is similar to most 35mm cameras. So that's a quick overview of the camera. I have got this little tiny external rangefinder that I do put on my cameras, but this one is in meters and this one's in feet, so trying to convert it is a bit of a pain. You have to get your phone out and try and convert if you're not that great at maths like I'm not. So, you know, you put this on there, but this is meters, this is feet. So I've done away with that and I just use zone focusing. I loaded a roll of Kentmere 100 speed film in here, which I developed in Rodinal, and then I went off up to our local high street, went around the back streets to take some shots just to see how this camera performed. I did do a few frames on some Oro UN54 film just to see if there was any light leaks, and there wasn't. So I'll run the video, I'll let you guys see what I was up to and also the photographs that I've taken so far with this camera, and then we'll come back with some thoughts afterwards.
Here's the train at CANON, it's coming round the bend. I ain't seen the sunshine, I don't know why. Stuck in Folsom Prison, time keeps dragging. That train keeps a rolling, way on down to San Antonio. When I was just a young boy, my mama told me, son, you be a good boy, don't ever play with guns. Shot a man in Reno just to watch him die. When I
So I'm just wandering around these back streets in the town centre, not too far away from where I live, probably about 9 miles. My wife's gone shopping with my daughter, and I just thought I'd wander around the back streets with the Kodak Retinette and see what photographs I can get. Sometimes you can get some interesting stuff around these back streets. Some of these old buildings, chimney pots, old drain work, old brickwork and stuff like that. Sometimes it can look quite nice when you print it out and frame it. It's all black and white, nostalgia, you know, timeless stuff. But so far I think I've taken about 10 shots in here already walking around these back streets. So I've only got 24 frames in the camera, so still plenty to take photographs of. I'm just literally walking around, you can see me around these streets, looking for anything interesting I can take a photograph of. Some people look at you like you're a right weirdo, you know, just taking pictures of people's houses and stuff and door knockers and whatever, but you just ignore it and let them walk by, you know. But I like up here, you can see all this old fancy chimney pots up here, you see that? And I can't imagine these will be around for another 100 years. They're going to be torn down and new builds put in, so to keep this stuff on film, especially on negative, one day someone will find these negs and go, oh look, do you remember that street or this street? So yeah, back streets are pretty cool, no more cooler than London. I love going around London, all around the back streets up there. Boy, geezers smoking wacky backy. No better than going around London, all those old back streets and old buildings, because that's all being ripped apart as well. But now and again you can find a little gem. So I'm going to crack on, get the rest of these pictures finished, and I'll keep showing you some more.
hang my head and cry while they fry the folks eating in a fancy dining car, probably drinking coffee, smoking big cigars. I know why they come, no I won't be afraid. That train keeps a rolling. as they free me from this prison, if this railroad train won't lie. Bet I take that engine further down the line, far away from folks in prison. That's where I want to stay. I'll let that lonesome whistle just to roll my blues away. I'll let that lonesome whistle just to roll my blues away.
Very good. So that was just a quick backstreet test of the Retinette 1, and I'm pleased to say the camera works well. I haven't gone through all the shutter speeds to make sure they all work. Most of those shots that you saw, in fact all of them, was 1/60th of a second at f8, so that was kind of like my idea of a sunny 16 on the day it wasn't that bright, so I shot 1/60th f8. I think I might have butchered the negatives in Rodinal. I developed the Kentmere 100 in Rodinal at 15 minutes 1/50, but I don't know, looking at the film leader and some of the shots, I might have overdeveloped, but that doesn't matter. I still got decent usable images that I could show you guys from this camera, and also convince myself that this is working fine, like I said, other than the shutter speeds. The sharpness of the lens, it seems relatively sharp. It seems similar to the other Retinette that I've got, which is a 50mm lens. This one's a 45mm lens. So it's relatively sharp that I got from the scans. I haven't taken the negatives in the darkroom and made any prints yet, but I've still got more film to shoot with this camera to test it out. But all these cameras just give their own little, you know, their own identity, their own look. So if you're after complete sharpness, tack sharp, beautiful, wonderful images, you know, would you use one of these cameras? Possibly, if you had the right one. But, you know, me particularly, I'm not really a photography snob, so I've got loads of different cameras like Holgers and pinhole cameras, and they've all got their own identity when they're taking pictures. So this camera is a beautiful little bit of kit that I will take out again and use, and you know, come back with some nice prints that maybe I can frame up indoors at home. But other than that, they're really fun and simple to use once you get used to them. So, you know, if you're getting into 35mm film photography, the cameras that I showed at the start, the SLRs, always a decent choice. But these ones are a little bit different, but I'd always recommend for the price, if you get into film photography and you start enjoying it, grab yourself one of these, go on eBay, have a little look, or online or whatever, or a flea market, and pick one up and try it out and see if it works. If it does, great, you've got a bonus and you've got a great little tiny camera, bit of fun to use, and also something nice to put on your shelf in your camera collection. So anyway guys, got to say thanks to Neil Legg for sending me this camera, and happy shooting. I'll catch you next time. Like my shirt's a bit creased, isn't it? I could be bothered to do any ironing today. Catch you later, bye.